Hey Dylan, how you doing? We got Dylan here. I have a more me specific question, so I thought I'd wait till office hours. Cool. I have zero experience using API keys. Oh yeah. Some forms say that you can just chunk them in the global environment and make certifications, I believe. Certain calls to them based on what package you're using. Since it's an API key tied to my personal account, I don't know. I guess we to do because APIs are like authentication keys. Should I just make a new account with them and get a new API? I would no. I'd probably make a new API key. The account login info in the Shiny if that ends up being required. I'm not actually that far yet, so it's just theoretical. It looks like what I'm going towards. I'm going to be dealing with tomorrow probably. Yeah, I would probably make a new account, like make a stat, like a BAS 475 account. Like you should be all right because the API is going to be like basically like, as far as I understand API keys, it's basically like a handshake so you can connecting. It's an authentication. Like what do API stands for? It stands for like something authentication. API key Wikipedia. I don't use a ton. Application programming interface key. Yeah, so it's like a handshake. So what I always think of them, like never hurts like to always review these things and understand. Let's talk about API keys right here. API keys, BS 475. So BS 475 API keys. I went and got some yoga, good Japanese drink or Chinese, I don't know. We got it at the Asian market, so or the main screen. Okay. I got so many things open. Application programming interface key. Yeah, so it's talking about all like it's basically just like a handshake. So it basically knows that you're you. It authenticates you. Security API keys are generally not considered secure. Oh, that's awesome. They're typically accessible to clients, make it easy for someone to steal an API key. Oh no! Once the key is stolen, it has no expiration, so it may be used indefinitely. Exactly. Unless the project owner revokes or regenerates the key. If an API key is meant to be accessible to the client, it is only considered secure if used together with security mechanisms such as HTTPS, SSL. Yeah, so could you go over what a sampling frame? Yeah, Maria, definitely. Let's do that here next. Yeah, so Dylan, I would do that. I'd probably make your own sort of thing. If you're doing like some sort of Google API key, I would do that. But yeah, that looks to be a pretty important. You want to make sure everything's secure there. I would do that. Good questions, Maria. Let's head back here. Okay, so the question is Stat 201 sampling frames. Is there a specific question you had or you just want to review it, Maria? You want to go over like the concepts of it? And we can do that. Go here and do 320 Stat 201. Stat 201. Chapter 10. Sampling frames. Sampling frames. Let's hear it here. On my peers, I just keep getting wrong. Aha. So let's go review it. Okay, here we go. Let's check it out. So the big thing to know is our terminology. And let's start with the biggest terms we have right here. Population. How would you define a population, Maria? A population is what? So think up some terms and practice right here. What is a population? It's with Fred. Not sure if the Google may have to go into the Google term ping. Yeah, you could. You could. What is a population? I'll do every odd one since we're gonna do practice right here. Is Mubot awake? Mubot. Oh, he is awake. Everyone, or what we want to understand. Kind of every person or thing we want to understand. Now, it's not the what we want to understand. So you have to be careful because it does sound similar. Every person or thing we want to understand, like it could be, you know, like we could want to understand cookies, like maybe we're making cookies and like, you know, like maybe the chocolate chip density of the cookies we make. Like we make this cookie dough recipe. I just want some cookie dough. And then we figure out like, okay, on average, what would we expect on chocolate chips within the cookies? So you might say, we want to understand the cookies. The cookies are the population. Now, we also might want to understand what people think of the cookies. Then the population of interest would be people rating the cookies. So different ways of talking about it, but the population is still everything we want to understand. Could be people, could be cookies. We could be looking at maybe the road outside, hints for the upcoming Kahoot. And we could ask, you know, with the road, like what are the potholes in the road? And we might want to analyze the road. So it'd be the population would be all roads. Now the parameter is what we want to understand about a population. So it's sometimes called the parameter of interest, all these different things right here. But if we're looking at the cookies and we want to understand how many chocolate chips are in them, well, then the parameter of interest might be the mean amount of chocolate chips. So it's always the what we want to understand about a population. This gets us into the next set of words, which we should know, such as like a sample, a group of individuals or things we get data on. So that's what a sample is. Now, the statistic would be what we learn from the sample used to estimate parameter. So the statistic is what we learn from the sample, i.e. sample statistics, and it gives us an estimate of the truth for the parameter. Common music. I know, Brianna. I like this nice common music. If you got a question, let me know. We're open questions after this. But this gets to Brianna's big question, which is what, or not Brianna's big question, Maria's big question right there. What is a sampling frame? A sampling frame is what I'd put between these. So a sampling frame is going to be here, sampling frame. Now, we need to go out and take a sample. If I were to go and let's say walk onto campus and be on Ped Walkway, what would be my sampling frame? I want to learn about students. So I want to learn about students. So I go to Ped Walkway and who's going to be in my sampling frame? And then we'll answer what is a sampling frame. What is the best way to describe what the sampling frame would be if I'm like, I want to learn about students. So I'm going to go out to Ped Walkway, pedestrian walkway, and I'm going to what is my sampling frame if I'm out on Ped Walkway at like 2 p.m. or what is it? It is 4:30 on a Thursday. Correct, Maria, 100 points right there. The people or things we have access to sample. So this is the big thing is like, this is theoretical. This is theoretical. Like it's everyone you could theoretically speak to, everything you could theoretically sample. So if I were to make a bunch of cookies and then I'm going to look at some of them, all cookies are in the sampling frame. Every single cookie I make that I can possibly pick up would be in my sampling frame. Now, the ones I take data on are in my sample. And that's usually where the confusion is that this is almost like an intermediary point between the two. So when you're looking at a sampling frame, it's not everything you have data on. It's everything you could have theoretically taken data on. Anyone who's on Ped Walkway right now, if I'm out there right now hanging out, anyone who walks by that area is in my sampling frame. So you would say, your sampling frame would be people who are on campus at this time near Ped Walkway, because you could theoretically be like, hi, can I talk to you? Now, they might give me non-response bias. And also, I might be talking to people, so I might not be able to talk to everybody. So people could walk by me. They'd be in my sample frame, but I might not talk to them. They wouldn't be in my sample. And I want to understand, let's say, like all students, and that would be the population of interest. Is this making more sense right here, Maria? I think a lot of times the confusion on sampling frame, we can do an example question if you want, like if there's one you're wondering about, whether it be like the soil question or the roller coaster ride question. I think it's hard for me to understand the theoretical part because I think of the data we get and not the possibility that, so the theoretical part, it's like, who could we have theoretically talked to? It's not the sample of who we spoke to. It's not who do we want to understand. It's who did we have access to talk to? Think about it like this. This might help when you think about it as like a frame. I didn't draw this picture yesterday, but if you have a bunch of people, shrink them down here a second. Okay, we're going to get a bunch of people. Oh, I should have shrunk them first. Okay, let's get a bunch of people. Oh, really? I need to recopy them. I'm going to try to get a bunch of people. Okay, so we have a whole bunch of people. And what I'm going to do is with all these people right here, these are the people I want to understand. Professors, if we have access to sample all of them. So maybe these are professors, right? These are your professors. These are you want to understand all your professors at UT. You want to understand professors at UT. Does that make sense? The population of interest right now is UT professors. But some professors do not look at their email, let's say. So you're going to email UT professors. Some professors don't look at their emails. That means you could never possibly what them. So some professors do not look at their emails, which, sorry, I mean, I'm sure they do, but let's just pretend. You could not possibly what? And we'll draw a little frame around here. Some professors, if they don't look at their email, I'll draw a little frame like this. Those professors would be outside of your what? These professors right here that you want to understand, that you can't possibly right there, you can't possibly sample them because they're outside of your sample frame, right? So this is the sample, I call it the sample frame. It's sampling frame or sample frame. So since they don't, you have a few that didn't, Dylan. No! 100 points, Dylan. Sorry about that. Not me. I hope not me. But the ones you could possibly speak to are the ones that look at their email. Does that make sense? So you want to understand professors. You're going to email professors. The only ones you could possibly access are the ones that read their emails. So if professors aren't looking at their emails, you have no ability to speak to them via this method of reaching out. So the professors you could possibly speak to are the ones who look at their email. Now from this, the ones who do look at their email, you maybe get these to respond, and maybe like a few don't respond. You know, everyone in your sampling frame doesn't have to be in your sample. We'll say those didn't respond. These just did not respond. They said, I don't want to take this survey. They saw it, but they didn't respond. Used the email. We had to, oh, wow. Yeah, it's old school right there. Man, I used to have to schedule meetings, or when I started college, it wasn't a big thing to email your professor. Like, you probably email them and say, oh, I don't look at email or something. Like, and they'd be like, okay, they don't look at email. Like, I might have looked at my email like once a week back when I was a freshman. I don't know. Maybe like someone be like, hey, I emailed you something important. I'd be like, oh yeah, let me log in. I wonder how often I looked at email. I had a friend who told me he looked at his email every day. Back in like 06, I was like, you look at your email every day? He's like, yeah, I gotta look at my emails every day. I look at my email. Haha. I look at my email probably every 2 to 3 hours tops. It's a big, yeah, but I don't look at it every 2 hours. That's, yeah. Try to catch up. Just gotta keep it at inbox 0 as best I can. So what we see right here is the sample frame would be the people we have access to sample. Theoretically, someone could say you do have the email access to these people, but we might say they're not going to respond, so I might not even talk about them as people I could possibly sample. So since we know that these people just won't respond, we can't possibly get info on them. This also applies with the example of standing out on Ped Walkway. If we say we're out on Ped Walkway, what do the people right here represent? If we're out on Ped Walkway and these people are outside of our sample frame, what do those people represent? Someone outside of the sample frame, if we're hanging out on Ped Walkway, taking data, someone outside of the sample frame would be what? So think about theoretically right here, like we want to understand students. Now we're back to understanding students. So we go out to Ped Walkway and that person is not in our sample frame. So that person right there is not in our sample frame. What does that mean for them? What are they? So that person is, we're on Ped Walkway, but that person's not in our sample frame. So we are on Ped Walkway. Close, Brianna, super close. The second part's the right part. It's not that they refuse. This person could have been a person who gave us non-response bias, or we just didn't talk to. If somebody refused, then we had access to them. Does that make sense? By saying somebody refused, that would be like non-response bias right there. Or if we just didn't have time to speak to them, then they just didn't make it into our sample. So if they refused, they'd be someone we had the ability to speak to, but maybe give us non-response bias. If they didn't walk by Ped Walkway, then we just didn't even have access to talk to them. So the idea of something being outside your sample frame is there was no way to get them. These students, exactly, Maria, and great practice, Maria and Brianna right here. And these are new concepts. Kind of seeing it visually right here or talking through examples is a good way to remember it. To be like, they're outside my sample frame, I have no access to get data on them. It is possible for something to be in your sample frame and for you to not get data. That person could have just been walking by quickly and we'd be like, hey, oh, well, you're busy, just keep going. Or they could have been like, I'm not taking your survey, and be like, okay, non-response bias. Some people didn't want to take our survey. So really, we see some good examples right here of what does it mean for someone to be in the sample. It means, one, we had access to sample them and we got info from them. What does it mean for something to maybe be in our sample frame, but we didn't talk to them? Well, we could have. They were on Ped Walkway, but maybe they gave us non-response bias, or maybe we just didn't have time, but we could have theoretically spoken to them. It's weird because you have to think, in an alternate reality, could I have spoken to that person if I was out here on Ped Walkway? Like, yeah, maybe, like, would they possibly have been out there? but they were on Ped Walkway. We could have spoken to them. Maybe if we weren't busy, maybe we were recording data at that time, but theoretically that person was someone we could have spoken to who was out there on Ped Walkway. I kind of don't understand how there is bias for people not responding. Oh, good question. Let's talk about non-response bias. So I'm going to change we'll do another segment right here. Thank you, Maria. 100, I knew Maria, 500 points. I try to throw out some big points every once in a while, every more than once in a while. But Maria, really good questions right here. Keep asking those questions. I don't understand is a great way to start a sentence, worth 500 points right there. I like when people say, I don't understand, then we can go into detail. So let's say definition review right here for this. Okay, let's put a new segment in the video. Maria, thank you for being here and asking questions. We're going to do another chapter 10 right here. Chapter 10, bias review. Okay, sample definition review. Let's head over here to the main screen. Shreya, great to see you here. So good to see you. Might be playing a visit to another class. I saw some people were really excited. So shout outs to Dr. Kelly, also doing some really great visualizations and doing some OBS stuff like we're doing here. So shout outs to Dr. Kelly right there. He's Dr. Kelly. Great guy. Really good. Love what he's doing with education. But with this, let's take a look at some. And so Shreya, if you have any questions, let me know. If you got questions for reviewing for 320. Let's see. Here's our types of bias. We have convenience, which I'm not going to be able to spell. There we go. Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to send him this chat now. We got voluntary. We've got... He's so good with jokes. He makes a lot of great jokes. Yeah. Oh, he's using our content? Totally fine if he does. But no, he was talking about he was mentioning me, and students were really kind with their words. Response. We've worked together a lot, and he's taught me stuff. The timer we have is thanks to him telling me about this timer. When you see like the start of class timer, it's snaz. Hey, Brandon, good to see you here. Let me know if you have any questions for distribution purposes. Yeah, of course. That's awesome. Non-response. I'm missing like 2 more. Under coverage. I think that's it. I think that's the ones right there. How is it? Nice. Oh yeah, with the normal distribution. That's awesome. Good review of tool 1, and we use a lot of these concepts in other classes. Yeah. So let's talk about the first one that Maria was wondering about. I don't know how there's bias of people not responding. So the bias when people don't respond is known as what bias? Who knows? 100 points again in the chat. Who knows what bias it is when people don't respond? Oh, which ones were on my Pearson that we didn't learn? We went over undercoverage, non-response, response, voluntary, and convenience. And sometimes, so we talk about convenience sampling or voluntary sampling. Convenience sampling will create convenience bias. Voluntary sampling will create voluntary bias. Which ones were on there, Maria, that we didn't learn? Which questions? Because they should all be covered in the notes right here. Tell me if you remember one. There's voluntary, there's convenience, there's undercoverage, non-response, and response. No, well, non-response is right here. That's like if you were in the afternoon class, we called Darren and we hung up on him. Well, he hung up on us. And I can't remember the example in the morning class. I talked about hanging up on the phone, but I just didn't call Darren. So non-response is when people don't respond. More on that in a moment. We'll do some examples with it. And then let me know if you see another one. But this should all have been right here in the notes. But let me know, and we can review them. So think about this. Like, there's so many controversial topics. Like, let's see right here. The answer is you. Oh, I asked what something was. Thank you, Maria. 100 points, Maria. Sorry about that. Maria answering the question. Great answer, Maria. And so these are our types of bias right here. Let's say we go out to Ped Walk and ask people their opinions on the current Supreme Court of the United States justice hearings for interview hearings are going on. Okay. So, like, it's one of those issues we got going on in America. Current Supreme Court justice hearing going on for new Supreme Court justice. Let me make sure I'm going to pronounce her name correctly. So Supreme Court Justice. When I got Ketanji Brown Jackson. So there we go. She is the current Supreme Court Justice hearing going on right now. And what would non-response? So we say to people, what do you think about this? We want you to answer some questions. What are your thoughts on this? And we ask them, a lot of stuff going on in the news media. Sometimes we mention current events right here. What would it mean if someone gave us non-response bias, and how could this impact our survey? What does non-response bias mean? There's some easier versions of this coming up. I hate that it doesn't like under coverage, under dash coverage. What does it mean if we have non-response bias? We walk up to people and what? So we say, hi, we want to talk to you about the current Supreme Court Justice hearings going on right now. And what does non-response bias mean? So what would it mean? Not going to lie. Yeah, no. Oh, well, not yet. They're going through the process. Not yet. Going through the process. I think Breyer's retiring, I think. They don't respond to us. It's actually Shreya Granite's right there. They don't respond to us. So they're just going to be like, no, I'm going to walk away. And so I'm saying, oh, you're very out of this. Don't worry, I'm very out of the news too. I just watched Philip DeFranco and he goes over it. So I'm like, oh, I know what's going on because Philip DeFranco told me. Shouts to Philip DeFranco right there. And so non-response would be someone saying that they don't know enough or walk. Pretty much. And so here's the thing. So we're actually getting into an issue. Brendan, great pointing out right there. People refusing to answer because they don't want to or don't know enough. Now, what's really interesting is that if we were to look at, you can think about how surveys are done. If when people, shout out to Philly D, oh yeah, Phil DeFranco. So if we were to look at people's responses to surveys, we could be like, wow, people are so educated on politics. Not saying you have to be, but if we were to ask people like your political awareness in this survey, we would get kind of a skewed response because people who are responding differ in the opinions than those who do respond or differ in their views. So with this, non-response bias is a problem where people who don't respond have differing opinions than those who do respond. Does that make sense, Maria, and everyone studying? And we got some 320 in here reviewing, so we can do some 320 in a moment if people want. Ask questions. This is the last question of the day right here on 201. But we got time for a lot more. Non-response bias is when those who choose not to respond for any sort of reason, maybe they don't want to, they just don't like us, they are going to differ in their opinions and views than those who do respond. So if this is some sort of political thing, and we're doing like political knowledge, then we could be like, oh, everyone here is so politically aware. Oh, I think that thing I don't understand was multi-stage. Oh, yes, let's do we'll do some multi-stage next. We'll define the sampling methods. We can do that next, Maria. And response bias would be, let's say non-response is a response. It kind of is. It's data. So we'd have to record how many people like refused. That'd be interesting, right? If a bunch of people just don't want to take our survey. Response bias, like what if we said like, I don't know. See, you have to you have to start usually questions like, is it fair? And then you'd say like that we're doing such and such. Just the word, is it fair is horrible for taking data on stuff. Usually response bias is when we're trying to push someone towards a response. Like I don't want to give a politically response biased question. Like, is it fair that this is going on? And you can phrase it either way, for or against whatever you believe. And we don't want to do that with collecting data. We want to make this like, we'd go up to someone and say, what do you think about the current Supreme Court justice hearing? And they'd say there's one going on. They'd say, well, yes, do you have opinions on it that you would like to share? Now the problem is we're probably going to see some voluntary bias. People with stronger opinions are more likely to give them. So probably the best thing to do is to walk up and say, hi, we are collecting data. And then they say, on what? And you say, if I tell you, I need you to give me data. And they say, please walk away. You're weird. But voluntary bias is going to be, the people who are for or against, because it's probably where you're going to see people on this. We talked about a really good example yesterday after class with this dish right here. I think this dish looks absolutely amazing. Let's remove the garlic, the onion, so I'll love it again. But this dish right here with mushrooms, garlic, pasta, and onions, it's kind of be maybe a divisive dish. It's got some ingredients in it that people might not be big fans of. That's why we took out the olives, because I don't like olives. Hey, can you get a chance to show the code to go back the blocks and the flip charts plot? Yeah, Isaiah, do it definitely. Let's go. We'll look at that next. We're gonna do a little more review of tool 1, and you got it. You want to do the block charts and the flip plots. So you want to make like a flip plot, right? I agree. That looks fire to me. That's 10 out of 10 fire right now. You just, oh my gosh, imagine taking that. Well, just see, and then we just got to put like, watch this, Alfredo. Whoo. Yeah, exactly. And this is the problem we get into is response or voluntary bias is you're going to usually hear from the loudest people. Brendan, Brendan, let's do some 500 points. Thank you everyone for being here. We're just talking about some food and all that good stuff today. Might make some tacos tonight. You're welcome. Yeah, so you want to do like a flip chart, right? And then Isaiah will look at that here in just a moment. Thank you for asking about that. Convenience is going to be like when you do something in an easy way, getting data from easiest people or things, getting data easiest way. So the problem here is if you say you want to collect data on this and you just talk to your friends or you put it online, that's like the most convenient way. Like, I got to do this survey for my class. Let me just put it online. The convenience bias is not going to be a representative view of what's really going on. So convenience bias, convenience sampling, getting data the easiest way. Voluntary bias, you're talking to like the loudest people, the people with the strongest opinions. That's not a good representative view. Response bias is when you're basically twisting someone to be like, is it fair? And they're like, it's not fair. They're like, really? Good, you agree with me. Non-response bias is when those who give their opinions or refuse to give their opinions differ in those who don't give their opinion, or vice versa. But undercoverage bias would be leaving out a certain group. And what do we mean by this? If we say leaving out a certain group, well, if you're leaving out a certain group, it'd be like going to, would it be great right now? Someone type D or R in the chat, and that'll go with the example which you give me. Type D or R in the chat, you pick. Or I. Sure, why not? D, R, or I. Dude, I don't know. We got to include them, right? Or G. We'll see what the first one people type, and I'm going to go with the example for that. So we got the current Supreme Court justice hearings going on. We're going to go to the college Republicans and say, what do you think about them? We'll just a general anarchist right there. Go to the college anarchists. So we go to, sure, it says D right there. So we go to the college Republicans and we say, what do you think about this current Supreme Court justice hearings? We'll ask you a bunch of questions right here, like, do you think, that we should have them approved, certified? I don't know the correct words. So with this right here, thank you so much, everyone, following along. Oh, that'd be a huge undercoverage bias, huge DR on that. That'd be huge undercoverage bias right there. If you only asked females their opinion on this, then you would leave out all not females. The best way to talk about like things, if you say like Republicans, the complement of Republicans is not Republicans. So, just mathematically, it makes sense to say you're either Republican or not Republican. And so if you only speak to Republicans, you'd leave out people who are not Republicans. And that's a sizable portion of the population right there. And it's not just that it's sizable, it's that you want your sample to be representative, and this would not be representative. I think the Senate votes to approve, and then on them after the hearing, and then that they certified, like, I should know my civics better. I do not teach civics here at UT. Brendan, thank you for the advice right there. Yes, Senate does like a confirmation hearing, right? I think it's confirmation or something. You approve through a confirmation meeting. I don't know. We'll do a few more definitions here. Let's go back to the main screen. So we kind of got a mini review today. We did the bias review, and then we're going to do some more. 2945, Stat 201. Put on this one right here. Chapter 10, sampling method review. Okay, let's do the sampling method review right here. I think we have, do we have some versions of it open? Let's go talk about it. Okay. Here we go. Okay, you're welcome, Maria. Yeah, as long as you're good at math, it's all right. Thanks, Dylan. Thanks. Yeah. How do I know if an API key has a use limit? Ooh. You might have to email me on that one, Dylan. Good question. I do not know the answer to that one. I'm not a pro on API keys. I'm good at math. But no, really good questions, Dylan. Good stuff. Keep looking into it and inform me of the answers when we find them out, or you find them out. We'll look into this. Good question. So with sampling methods, sampling methods are going to have quite a few. Can anyone name a sampling method? Probably start at the very beginning, a very good place to start. What is the easiest sampling method to think of? Let's say we want to talk to UT students. How are we going to do sampling methods? Random. Ooh. Convenience, that's good. I like convenience. Convenience is a good place to start. I never know how to spell it. I think actually, that's not convenience. Convenience. There it goes, close enough. Simple random sample, exactly. We got some great answers in the chat. Mubot loving some randomness right there. Convenience sampling is when we putting the survey online, speaking to our friends, talking to the first 50 people we see. So there's some examples of convenience sampling, probably an easier one to remember because it's convenient. Like a convenience store that came up this morning. A convenience store means it's easy to get to. It's like on the corner. It's a convenience store. So it's meant that this is easy for us to get to. You just put the survey online. You ask your parents to fill it out. You're doing some convenience sampling with convenience bias. Now, next we get to simple random sample. And so when we do this, everything in the population gets a number. We pick those numbers randomly. Everything has an equal chance of being picked. This, let's put bad. This is bad right here. We'll put in red. That's a bad one. And we'll put green and good right here. Rest will be in green. If done properly, which as long as you do that, you're doing it properly. Everything in the population gets a number. But we did this earlier, and I'll show this. So we were asking to do a simple random sample earlier. This is where we did it. Here we go. And so I could do a simple random sample now with Brendan. And let's pretend for a moment somebody gets an A. This is pretend time. Mewbot's in the chat too. Mewtwo, Brian, Shreya, Shreya. Now, I'm going to do a simple random sample, and I'm going to give 2 people an A. Maybe I'll get the A. I'm not really going to do this. Sorry. There it is. Maria and Mewtwo, you are 2 winners of an A. That was a simple random sample right there. But you might be saying, Brian, you didn't give everyone a number. Well, I could have just... sorry, it's a joke. Sorry. It's like he said he'd give me an A. Sorry, Dylan. Here, we'll try again. Another simple random sample right here. Oh, Dylan and Brendan get the A's now. Sorry, Shreya. Oh, no, Maria and Mewtwo. Dylan and Shreya right there. So, Mewtwo and Brian. We're stopping. This is a good place to stop right here. So Mewtwo and Brian get the A. That was complete randomness right there. Just luck of the draw. So this is a simple random sample. So all of you, if this was a real contest, would have had a what chance of winning? All of you in a simple random sample would have a what chance of winning? In a simple random sample, it's like putting the names in a hat and drawing them out. Technically, you give everything numbers, like number 1 through 6. Like I am number 5 right here. You have an equal chance. What was his number on The Prisoner? Oh, such a good show. Patrick McGowan. 1/6. Everyone has a 1/6 chance of winning right here. And so it's equal. It's equally likely. I think the problem is people just go by strict definition, which the definition is true. If you just work it that way, that you would have a number and your number would be picked. I could have just said right here, numbers 1 through 6, but then we'd have to like say you're this. I'm number 5. Hey, I won. Well, there you go. It's gonna be great. I hope so. I hope so. I hope so too. I love it. I love when people get A's. That's the number one goal. Also to have a good life. I actually prefer my students are happy before they get A's. Next we have here systematic. Systematic sample is going to be everything gets a what? and we're putting green because this is a good method. So we start at a random point and then sample every kth observation. So we start at a random point and we sample every kth observation. My probably favorite example for this, and I used to do M&Ms in class. I just don't teach in person anymore. My favorite example here is the M&M line where you're just here eating the M&Ms as they come down the line, because that's how we sample things. And you just take every fourth M&M down the line. So the kth is a placeholder for the number. It can be any sort of number you want, like fourth, fifth, sixth. Just depends on how far you want to space things out to get a representative view of the population. So it doesn't, like, it is important to know that the point we start at is randomly selected. But the easiest way, what are the 2 letters you would probably see in pretty much all systematic sampling? Like when you see systematic sampling, the biggest identifier for you for systematic sampling is if you're like, systematic sampling, if I see this, it's systematic. Like, what do you see? And you're like, that's systematic every what? Because it could be second or third, but we don't usually go in that small of an interval. We usually try to space out more over a time interval. So what is the key thing for systematic that you would see? Kind of when you see systematic, you'd be like, oh, that's my like clue, like systematic. We can maybe write trick questions that are going to not do this, but I would say it's one of those teaching to the test moments. If you see these 2 letters, it's going to be systematic. So what 2 letters, if you see them, are you like, that's probably systematic? That's what people say. Okay, I'm confused. According to Fred's website, great job right there, Maria. It doesn't use their site data for data mining. In other words, when talking about the APIs, it really says under the things to use. Yeah, Dylan, you might have to message me all this. Yeah. No, Dylan, keep searching. We're gonna look into this. Yeah, like, yeah, no, we did figure that out. And Maria, great work right there. The TH is in Treya, great work too. The systematic is identified by the TH. Try to look for TH. I can't promise that's going to always be systematic, but, you know, like as far as it goes, usually systematic is going to have some sort of 5th, 10th, 20th, 15th, 14th thing going on with it. Next, we get into the tough ones, which are stratified sampling. Now, we did some really good examples this morning. Or this afternoon earlier. And this is start by acknowledging a difference, then sample randomly and representatively within the difference. Okay, this sounds like a lot. And with representation for the difference. Okay. This is where people get confused, but I think I showed it. I think I have a way of doing this that really helps out. I figured out a way this morning. So let me go grab stratum and dirt. And let me show you. This is what stratum in dirt looks like. This is stratum in dirt. Strata in Latin means layers. So if you notice right here, there's different layers of this dirt. So I would like to show you how we could take a stratified sample. A stratified sample is going to do what to these differences? I just want to hear one word. A stratified sample is going to start by saying there are what's in the dirt. Well, different word right there, but it's going to do what to these differences. So it starts by saying there are differences, and I'm going to what those differences. There's different layers. There's like, okay, there's differences. There's this group. There's that group. There's this group. There's that group. And then I'm going to acknowledge those differences and then sample within those differences representatively. So I'm going to show you 2 ways I could sample this. Here is way number 1 I could sample this. So here's way number 1. You ready? There's way number 1. And here, let's go over here. Let's go over here. Okay, so here is way number 1. And here is, I'm going to shrink this down. Do this. Boop. Okay, and then here is way number 2. Which of these ways, way number 1 or way number 2, looks representative? Or now they're kind of reversed. But which of these ways looks more representative of that dirt? They are in reverse. I'll have to go here and put this second. But which of these ways? Way number 1. So remember, we want to take a representative sample of the dirt. So which of those looks more representative of that dirt you saw on the screen? Way number 1 or way number 2? I'll show you're on track with that. Oh, that's all right, Maria. So I might just explain. So way number 2 looks, to think, represented the vertical. Exactly. Great job right there, Brendan. So that's actually stratifying. It's acknowledging the differences and then saying, we need more of this dirt up here. What I did in the second example, or the first example rather, was I did what is called a cluster sample. So cluster sample, taking all of one group, things need to be randomly assigned to groups. Taking all of one group. Taking all of a group. There we go. We take groups. Groups are randomly selected. There we go. And things need to be randomly assigned. So this would not be a good idea to take a cluster sample of this data because the dirt is not randomly assigned among this. So this would be a bad cluster sample. A cluster sample is when you take all of one group, where a stratified is when you start by acknowledging differences. So think about this. If you want to understand if, this kind of goes to your questions on my Pearson. If you want to understand if drug use is a problem in Major League Baseball, would you use team as a cluster or team as a strata? And technically it could go either way, but I would prefer one way. Would you use team as a cluster or team as a strata? So when you do team as a cluster, I think I've got that right over here. If you do team as a cluster, you'd be picking all of one team. If you use team as a strata, then you'll be acknowledging differences among team and maybe selecting 3 players from each team that are randomly selected. So if you say teams are clusters, you could pick like 3 random teams and take everyone on those teams. So you could take multiple clusters of all team, or you could take from every team, by acknowledging differences among teams, 3 players from each team. I would have a preferred methodology. Someone could maybe argue for the other one, but what would be maybe a preferred methodology? Then we'll do some Flipbox stuff. What would maybe be a preferred methodology? I'll mention multi-stage too for a second. I would probably use team as strata. Because then we're acknowledging differences among the teams. Maybe some teams. Sorry, Yankees. I don't know. I don't know who's doing what. Sorry, Yankees. But I don't know what they're doing these days. I don't watch enough baseball. But right here, team acknowledging the differences among teams is going to be, we would take 3 players from each team, and then we would, so we'd do that, and we'd find out. That's the best way to know. 3 randomly selected players, and we don't put any bias on it. We see if there's any issues, and we investigate further if there's issues. But this would be a good way to look across the whole Major League Baseball organization. I'm sure, no, I don't know. I just like to make fun of teams. Sorry, Astros. Do the Astros even exist anymore? I don't even know. So that's got right there, stratified versus cluster. And so cluster is also a good sampling method when done properly. The things need to be randomly assigned to groups, and that's probably a problem because people on teams are not randomly assigned. We did an example earlier. I think we still have it up. And the example we did earlier, here we go. This is a multi-stage right here because in this one, we are acknowledging, definitely not the Mariners. We're so bad we can't be doping. Mariners, you're fine. You're so bad that you got this. I remember, didn't the Mariners come out in like 2002? Anthony, good to see you here. Quick question about the project. Is the future research the same as an outro in that video? I believe so. And so it talks about going into like new details, right, Anthony? 100 points, Anthony. Yep. It's like an outro, future research. Make sure to go into new ideas going forward into the future. Great job, Anthony. More points in the chat. That is right there, Anthony. Great work. So when we go to this Coca-Cola factory, if we are taking cherry Coke, Diet Coke, and regular Coke, you're welcome. Swing by anytime, ask the questions right away. Love it. Then we are acknowledging a difference, hence stratified. If we're going and taking 20 packs of each, we're taking 12 packs. Each of the pack, and we're sampling every can in the pack, is going to be a cluster. So the packs are the clusters. Like, it is a group. And we're assuming the cans are randomly put into these packs. So these would be the cluster part of it. Stratified right here is going to be the differences we see among the Coca-Cola types, and then it's called a multi-stage because we're doing two different things. We're first acknowledging the difference between them, and then instead of randomly selecting within, we're selecting groups within 12 packs. So this is a multi-stage, and there's many, many ways to do multi-stage, and that's the different types of sampling methods. Let's go do some Flipbox. Time for some 475 Flipbox. So let's see. Okay. BAS 475 Flipbox. Okay. Here we go. Okay, let's get an example of a Flipbox. Let's go do Flipbox. And there's that. Flipbox is a really new thing. Kayla found it a while ago. How to remove images. Neat. This is a big example. Let's see here. Let me run this. 2 seconds. Don't even know what this will create. Okay, let's see. Oh my gosh. Okay. Good to go. It doesn't have the images, so I'm just like a little worried. This one is a hover, and this one's a flip on click. Okay. And so like more information. Okay, so let's try to put some stuff into here. Okay, let me see. Oh. Fluid row right here. We're gonna make an image for it ourselves. And so this code I'm on, I'll put it in the chat. I took this from this person's page right here. So flip boxes right there. So that's where we're on. You can make a, yeah, you could. That's, yeah, Dylan, that'd be interesting. Like, it would need to send a signal to tell it if it flipped properly and then keep it flipped. It would have to like then lock the flip and then like increase the points. Yeah, you could do that. That'd be a fun little game to make. So you just have to think like if the flip matches, like you could do a game like Mario right there. That'd be fun. You could do the rows of stuff with the Mario flip game, recreating it in R. Ooh, this ideas right there. If it matches the value, so you'd have to go to value, and then if it matches the value, you would have to then keep it flipped and then increase the score of the user. No, that's a good way to do it right there. Let's see right here. Let's put my image in here. It should run my image. Brian Stevens Haslam UTK. We're just gonna change all the images to me. Copy image address. Cool. Okay. Looks to be good. Hey, there we go. So there's the more info. Flip on click. They have this one weird. Does it also have? Did I copy it twice? Oh, I think they have two. I think we're looking at a second one. And then when I run it, it's going to run the second one. Oh, it's got a button. It's neat. So there are two right here. I copied two examples. I was wondering why I was running a second time. I never like doing the if interactive thing. So let's remove the second one. Okay. There's the URL there. I was gonna put my brother's picture on here, but he's not here to approve. There we go. Just Brian Stevens everywhere. Yeah. Also, I watched a video and saw where you pulled a code from a website and were you able to put in your app. Yeah. And it's also, I was watching your video and saw where you pulled a code from a website and were able to put your app code into their snippet and would add color. Yeah, of course. Yeah. You're able to do that? Awesome, right there. What we could add to this is we could add some tabs to this and do like app creator or something like that. So we can kind of work with this layout they've got right here and do practice with it right now. Never hurts to practice. But right here, I want to remove that second flip box. So let me get that one out here. We've got the UI input in our active side. So I'm going to go here to the first flip box, which the first flip box is going to right here, I think. There it is. Okay, so UI input with column. Okay, I think we're good. And then this is closing too right here. Oh, that's the column. Ooh. Sure. Okay, let's move that out. Okay, it's a bad idea. And now you rerun your app. Okay, we're good. There we go. Changes, it augments the size of the screen so we can just do whatever we want right here. Perfect. Excellent. Amazing. Okay, it fixed itself. Do you have that link to the snippet so I can... Oh, yeah. Do you see it? It's on the Flipbox thing. Did you see where I typed Flipbox? The Flipbox thing is right here. It's the code I'm working with. Do you see it? It's above Dylan's comment. If you click the rinterface.github shiny dash, it's the code I'm working with right here to get a kind of a skeleton Flipbox to work with right here, to maybe like put in graphics or things on it. So we could, put a graphic behind this if we wanted or something, because this is what it has on the front side of it right here. There's the front and then the back side right here. Text center, image, H1. There it is right there. P for more info. So this is where we can, you're welcome. Yeah. We should be able to theoretically go right here. Does this not have a server? It does have a server. Good. Render UI. See, that's a lot of fun right there. So I should get in the practice of codings more. That's why I like to take side colors. You can choose this color side. So we got the server down here. And that's where it's doing the active. We should be able to. That's the image source. Let's go right here and go to plot output. And let's say hist. And then go down here. And no. And go to render plot. Oh my gosh. 2 seconds. I do not like the way this is coded. I don't usually code my things like this. I think. Hey, we've done it. We got a histogram on the back side of this. This might be what you're looking for. It all depends. There's a million ways to do this. But I was just trying to get my histogram on the back side of this card right here. So you can be like, check out this cool histogram. So we could change this right here from the source. So let's go here and go P for paragraph, I believe. And say, do you like histograms? And say, do you like histograms? And we go right here and we see the following. Do you like histograms? Says Flip on Click. Hey, Brian, another question. I wrote the executive summary, but I feel like the action item should be in the future research. No. It'll always be in the, my action item was market to single older men. That'll be in the, good question right there, Anthony, 100 points. That will be in the executive summary. Yeah, exactly. So you can go right here. It looked like it was doing something a little weird. I was like grabbing the other side of it for a moment. But do you like histograms? And then you see we can change the flip on click to, see we go here to do you like histograms? Do you like histograms? Click yes. Click here. Just kind of these little changes right here is what's important. Do you like histograms? Click here. Whoa. Let's change it. It's not Wacky Wednesdays. It's Wacky Thursdays. Do you like histograms? Whoa. There you go. Is there any way to change the width of the tab select thing? Oh my god, Tiny Brian. Is there any way to change the width of the tab select thing? I'm completely blanking on the line. Are you which thing are you talking about? Explain in greater detail. The Flipbox is controlled by the column. The width of the column right here is going to control the Flipbox width, I believe. So we can make a wider Flipbox right here. That's going to be controlled with this. So that's going to control the width of the Flipbox. I believe this is made up into like the menu bar on the left. Whoa. That's the dashboard side menu. Dashboard sidebar. Let's find out. There might be a way. There probably is a way. There's usually a way. Width of in R. Okay. Width setting. It's got a width setting, it looks like. Found it. Oh, here we go. Wait, what are they doing after that? That's all we need, right? Okay, I think I got it. There's another parentheses. This should be fine. Everything's fine. That should be it. I don't usually code like that though. Let's find out. Oh, something's mad. Error. It's mad about. Let me change. They said it would work. Nope. Superman now. Okay, we don't have a close parentheses on this. Okay. Oh! I think we've done it. Should be very tiny now. Tiny Brian. Being weird over there. Doesn't look to be 10. Maybe it's outside the boundary of what it can be. I dropped an A. Is there still an error on this? I think I've got an error or something. You're saying I dropped an A? Let me open this up. So this needs to close. There's the close on that. Oh, no, it's for... Oh. So that wasn't closed was the issue. See, it does look longer. And that's causing problems. I think it can go beyond what you have, but there might be problems with getting it smaller. Okay, so we can make it longer. So this is confirmation that it can go longer than what it's supposed to be. So you can change it to longer. That's for certain. Is this what you're looking for, Isaiah? We have confirmation on increase of it, but it looks like there's a minimum limit to what it can go. Yeah, so it looks like there's a min limit, right, Dylan? And it's getting mad about like my sizes of text. Change it to H5 up smaller. Do you like histograms? Gotta change that. Whoa. I think it's mad about that. Let me change flipboxing here to 5, 3. Those are like font size. Yeah, it seems like it has. It's weird to me that sometimes we hover over it and it does like a quick preview of it. I don't know if we need the front back thing, but no, that pretty good right there. What else are people thinking? Like we could add tabs to this, or we could do whatever people want, but just kind of making some stuff right here. Working with flip boxes. There's just so many options. Could we put a flip box inside a box? I don't know. Would that work, Dylan? Do you think flip box inside a box? So the box, it's just an argument box. We'll put this back to 200. And then that maybe it's not going to mess with it so much. Okay. I don't like that it's doing that. It's like loading it in. Flip boxception. I don't know. It might get mad like having a container around it. It could get mad. So it might be like you can't put a flip box inside of a box. So box. And where's the flip box end? Rainbow parentheses. There's the flip box end. Find out. Oh, they'll look at the box. The box is, I love it. I love that. That's cool. I like errors. Oh, it's weird. How is it giving the error sometimes? What it's doing is it's putting the box around the top, which is not good. This was a bad idea. Not a good idea. I don't think boxes are meant to be used around flip boxes. UI output, active sign 2. Purple. I like purple. What? Invalid color purple? They didn't. It gotta be lowercase purple, or we're doing fuchsia instead now. Thank you for that very informative error. So I can get fuchsia as my color. Do not allow hexadecimal color code either. Why in the world? Really? That's weird. Why would they make only certain colors? Olive. The more you know, the sadder you get. There's your olive right there. Why not just go through the... I don't understand that. I don't know why you wouldn't just allow for all colors. It must be that... I don't understand. That just seems like a I don't know. You just say color. Here's the color. R will accept colors usually of uppercase, like... There you go. There's red histogram. So it's weird to me that Flipbox is like, nah, we're not doing that. Or dashboard badge. That's interesting. I don't think we need the dashboard badge, do we? I don't like it anymore. It's gone. Let's see. No dashboard badge. Front back. I don't like that front back. Render UI. So yeah, that's where it's coming from. No. Yes. As a kid, I just loved... so you could put two different models on here. You could, think about usage for this. Additive, multiplicative. So you could make your additive and multiplicative model right here and just have it flip to show the different models. And yeah, like you could just say like click to show other model. So you would say here like click to change model. And then we put this right here. We'll do a little bit of this right here. And click to change model. H3. Okay. H3, H3. Good. We're good. Click to change model. And now let's go make a model. Let's see. I'm gonna grab a really quick, easy one. FP3. And so decomp. Time series decomposition. Put a little chill music on right here. Oh, go grab the decomp. Well, I guess we got to render it in the server. So, library FPP3. And go down here and render it in the server. Here's the server. Output decomp 1. Render. Is this a plotly? We're just rendering plot. And then open it up, drop it in. Copy paste. Everyone loves some copy paste. And then multiplicative. I always spell multiplicative wrong. Sure, let's give it a shot. Not gonna spell it right. Multiplicative. I think it's right. Here, watch this. Let's run it. Unexpected parentheses close. U.S. employment not found. Oh, do we have to filter this data? Oh my gosh. Let's see what we're saying in the chat. Beer may still be loaded in. We should have done beer, right? Okay, U.S. employment. Retail. We should be able to do beer, right? Did beer still load up? What? I'm going to clear my environment. Fit beer. DF. Okay, let's go down. Let's change it to beer. DF. Beer. Type additive. Sure. Of total beer. Classical multiplicative. Of total beer. Capital like this. And now we need to take... Thank you, Dylan, right here. 100 points, Dylan. Gosh, I feel that Haslam Friday right here. Anyone else just tired today? Whew, gotta wake up. My ice has melted. Let's see. Change the data. Change the data frame we're using. Check to see if it runs. That's the render plot. Okay, good. Warnings. Gaps in data. What? There's no gaps in my data. Something always has to go wrong, right? You know what I think it is? Is it the beer lag? Oh my god. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's going on with this? Look at this. 1971. Oh my gosh, what have we done? Something that data has huge gaps. Yeah, it's not the NA, it's the huge gap right here. Look at that. There's a huge gap and I have no idea why. Maybe it was when we recoded that data point, it somehow created a huge gap. So let's go to OS production. OS production, take, select, beer. That's fine. It's the graphics warning. And save this as data frame. Okay, there we go. Run past code now. It's mad about the graphics. 2 seconds. Reboot R. I'm not joking. The way to solve this is to reboot R. So, sounds crazy, but literally the way to solve that right there is to reboot R. And so... there we go. And that's got it. Rebooted R. Let's run our decomp on this. Like I said, reboot R. I've seen that palette error before. There's a way to fix it, but I can't remember off the top of my head. We done it? It's gonna be about something. Oh, it's not. Oh wait, did we not change it? Oh, because it's got the hiss still. We called it decomp 1, decomp 1. That's a problem. Decomp 2. Okay. Sure, let's see if this works. Okay, that means we need to go to our Flipbox. Is this making sense still in like what I'm doing here in just these steps to kind of like make something that we could turn in? How's this looking right here? Oh, I've got decomp 2 again, don't I? I think it's mad about that. I think you can't put the same one. There we go. So now here's the additive, here's the multiplicative. But yeah, so this is what you want to be able to do right here. You know, our goal is to maybe make a model displayed It's getting a little mad at me. But yeah. So there's the multiplicative and here's the additive. Very similar. But now what you'd want to do is you'd want to put in like some variable selection. Oh, the trend? Oh, let's see. Oh, whoa. Multiplicative. Yeah, the trend component's crazy, isn't it? 250 to 500. Well, the scaling, it looks like it just scales it differently. They're similar-esque. They're not too different, actually. It's weird. I don't like that. It seems to scale it differently. You notice, like, the multiplicative does the multiplication. We should do, like, seats or things like that. So all of this right here, really great stuff. You know, just adding it in. So now what we could do is we could put tabs on this. If we go here, tab items go inside of, we were talking about this on Discord today. Got just enough time. We'll do a little tab items right here. So our shiny app that we're working with right here. Tab items are going to go in the dashboard body. Oof, craziness right here. So let's see. The trend doesn't change. It looks like with the seasonal. Yeah. We only got this tab right now. Tab items. There's tab items. And so we'll worry about closing that off later. Tab item. Tab item is what we need to call. And we'll worry about closing it off later. We're going to call this maybe decomps. And we can do icon, right? Icon. We'll worry about icon later. Okay. It's going to look crazy now. Okay. There's the tab items. Sure, we'll put the first tab item like that. And down here, there's the server. And there's the tab items. And yes, wait, we have one extra parentheses, I feel like. Okay, good. I think this will do it. Worried, scared. Nope, we broke it. Broke it. That's how it goes. We broke it. Let's see. Oh, are we too far back in time? Let's see. We'll add in some tabs and we'll call it a day on this one. It is dashboard. It was dashboard header. Am I wrong on that? I thought it was dashboard body. No, it's dashboard body. Dashboard body. And then tab items inside of it. Tab item. And then inside of tab items, we put inside of tab items the tabs we want. Tab item. And so inside of this, this is going to be interesting. That's what I thought. Didn't break it. It's mad about some stuff. See what Dylan's saying, or if anyone else has questions right now. I had to throw a tab name equals stuff for it to work on mine. Let's see. Victim. Stuff. Stuff. That's what I thought. Look at their example again. Everyone does it so many different ways. Sidebar. Here we go. partially there. Is it mad about this then? Brian. Brian 2. Let's look at if it's mad about this. Unexpected. What did I delete? It's nice and easy. Good. That's broken. Sure, why not? There we go. Good to go on that. We're getting somewhere, Dylan. So we got our softball menu. Menu item. Tab name Brian. What? I think it's mad about all that. So much code, Dylan. Start off with some code that I didn't make, so I'm like, okay, let me read through it. Yes, that's what I wanted. Cool. Put that over there. We're just going to take this out. Going good. One thing I've been wondering now for a bit, is it possible to make the tab change between on what you choose? What do you mean by that, Dylan? Is it possible the tab change? Well, like, what do you mean, like, well, this is changing on what I choose. I think you mean something more in depth than that, right? Now we're gonna go take this right here. I might be mad about the fluid row, because it should just take this, and this is the stuff for it. Is it mad about it? Oh, look, we've done it. We've done it. You can add an RMD for this. Like if I had the user choosing a radio button, might have to type it on more detail. I'm trying to understand, like, like you might need to go in more detail on it. Like, go more. Do you want to, like, and then you want it to change? Like, I think my brain's maybe fried. Like, I'm basically working on the midterm right now for fun. I'm basically like, let me add a decomp, and then I would change the variables and stuff and have like variable inputs or stuff. But kind of just some fun right here practicing. I'm just gonna name my input, my tabs Brian for the heck of it. So yeah, we're getting something right here. Getting something. Oh, you can actually do an RMD, like, watch this, I'll show you a trick. Put RMD into Shiny app. So there's a way to do it. I want to look at that way. I've done it before. Like the biggest thing, our Markdown in Shiny application. Here it is. Include Markdown. I think that's the way. Someone's saying, oh no, that's the result. So watch this. This is such a cheating way to do it, if I do it correctly. take a look. Yeah, see if you can go to more detail, Dylan. I'll try to help out with that. Oh, you can't see it. So if you want to just straight make an R markdown file right here. So I guess you don't get the plots. That's kind of bad. But you could literally, check us out, Dylan. You could use the markdown editor right now to make an instructions page. So with this right here, I guess we don't even need the knit stuff. Include equals false. That's good. So we call it like my app by Brian Stevens, all that good stuff. And then let's just delete out all this. Include plots. So I guess it can't do the plots because those aren't. That's a bummer. We could say app instructions. And then we go down here and say, here is how to use my app. And then you could do like. So you don't got to worry about all the fancy editing and stuff. Hello. Yes. This next. And so let's save this. And now, there you go. But so that's kind of one of the things. There's so many things. Echo equals true. Let's take off the echo equals true on that. So it's got to include equals false. What is it? I can't think of the other argument we need to change here. Show nothing, run code. There we go. Include equals false. That should do it. Should do it. Maybe I don't even... This is the setup thing you don't usually want to destroy, but, you know, we can destroy anything we want. So we can just go over here and just say, you know, how about we just take out that setup thing? It's probably the worst idea in the world. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Dreamweaver throwback. Oh, I use some... it's not Adobe Dreamweaver, is it? Or who? Flash? Look at that. There you go. You don't need it. Just treat it like a Word document. So now you can just type on it like it's a Word document. Nice and easy enough to do. We try to go for ease of usage. So, you know, right here, you can just treat it like a Word document. You can edit it like a Word document. So you could probably even just take from Microsoft Word. Let's see how far we can go with this. Let me look at one for more formatting. If you had something with some formatting, you could take it and probably drop it in here. Let's see if it does it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it did some weird formatting. I think it's because I was in the... Oh, wow, there you go. The Fred API allows for... Hey, just Fred help just respond. The Fred API allows for... Oh, that's good. Oh, so rate of 120 requests per minute. So every half second you can do it. That's crazy. Nice job, Dylan, finding out some stuff. And then look, we've got this right here. So this is I mean, I guess that's what I wrote on the app, right? So it takes in the formatting. So, you know, I think this is what, and I want to show if anyone else is watching right now, we could just take this and put it straight to a web page. So we could upload this to the web, and our app isn't really super interesting right now. But that's kind of the point of all this, is we're actually building like a web-based app. So this is kind of some neat skills we learned in the upper level courses. And we were trying to really go here and make a decomp model and get it put in here on a Flipbox. And then the instructions aren't really instructions right now, but we could, you know, just go in here. But there's a lot of good, interesting stuff. I don't like that it does that. I don't know when I got that. That's something I need to, you know what? I think it's the box. Flipbox might be causing some sort of weird issue, but if I was totally debugging my app right here, I'd be like, why am I getting this? No, maybe not. Let's see if I increase page size, it doesn't do it. But yeah. Any last thoughts, Dylan? We're gonna head off here in just a moment. But good work right here. Good practice. We kind of made a basic app. We added in Flipbox. We added in, it's mad about some sort of geom path thing, probably with the decomp in the background. But the goal was to kind of work with the Flipbox. The auto tab switching was a couple posts ago. Did you get the auto tab switching? I might need to message you about this. You're trying to get auto tab switching. Yeah, I need to look into that. I haven't done much auto tab switching, But if there is a will, there's a way with these. And here's the thing. If you watched how we did this, you always want to do it in step by step by step. You don't want to jump into it and be like, I'm going to get this whole thing working by just writing all the code. No, 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 no. It's in little bits. Little bits. With that, I'm going to head off. Dylan, message me. We'll talk more about this. We'll be teaching. We'll be reviewing here in just a moment for 320. Bye for now, everyone. Bye. Review coming up. You got this, Dylan.